Welcome, everybody. My name is Crypto Hoddleson, and we are nearing some exciting days because we are just a few short days away from the 1 year anniversary of StrikeX, and I'm joined with the CEO and the CCO, Joe and Kish. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, yeah, really good, thank you. Nice early start for us, and I know an earlier start for yourself.
Yeah.
David, so appreciate you, staying up late and doing this.
Of course, yeah.
Joe says early start, but he's up at 5 a.m., so it's probably afternoon for him by now.
Always seen him online early. That's great to hear. And like I mentioned, nearing that 1 year anniversary mark, it's a pretty big deal in this DeFi space. So, how does that feel for you guys? Because it's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to pat myself on the back too much, purely because we're still so incredibly early in our journey and we have so much to do. But taking a step back just to reflect on the last year, I do understand. Yeah, I mean, a lot of projects come and go in a year, but really, it's we're still building, and we're yet to really come to our own and show the world what we can do. So we've got a long way to go. But yeah, I appreciate it's nice to be a year in and going strong.
For sure. In this first year, what would you say has been I'd love to hear both your guys' kind of take on it. What has been the biggest challenge? What kind of maybe scared you the most, or you just felt was the biggest hurdle to get over in this first year?
I mean, for myself, I think the biggest hurdle is, or in the early days, is reducing expectations of investors, particularly used to projects blowing up overnight to $1 billion market cap. It's something that we obviously aspire to, but it's something that we prefer to do naturally. We're not about the token. The token is part and it's the lifeblood of our projects. We're not here to pump the token. We're not really too bothered about the price at this stage, purely because we have such a wild journey ahead of us. So I think really the biggest thing is not to worry too much about the token price, particularly in the early days, because I understand investors, they want to see their investment grow, but we're a utility token, and we need to take a sit back and see, our token will be it will show its value when the products are out and successful. So I think that's been the biggest thing to kind of get my head around and try and create an atmosphere in a community that it's not about overnight riches, pump and dumps, because they're rife in Binance Smart Chain and the Binance Smart Chain network, and we don't want to be associated with that. We want to take the best of the Binance Smart Chain, which is the volume, the low fees, and the kind of vast array of investors looking for new technology, looking for new projects to invest in, and that's kind of where we want to kind of position ourselves. Kish,
I think also it's been quite good training, preparing ourselves for the year that we will have, beyond being just a crypto coin as well. I feel like running a project in this space, it almost feels like we're completing the game on hard mode. But one way that this space does excel is, the way that you can self-fund through the coin tax. But having a very low tax token, you still need to measure that against things like, just expenses such as product development, legal, business development, marketing, which is not something that a lot of people are very used to with these projects. We're walking a line that's going to give us that longevity, as Joe said, but we're being pushed to also compete against, doggy coins and the like, with 20% tax and devs that actively sell on the market to fund the project. I can confidently say we're probably one of the only projects that actually for the people and building something legitimate.
Well, I had a conversation with a dev from a major coin the other day, and he said that we were the first token that he spoke to that had a 0% buy tax, and didn't collect B&B in the way that other taxes do. A lot of projects as well, even on their buys and sell taxes, they collect their token, and their token then builds up in a pot and then it sells in the market automatically. And which obviously to me is no different to a dev or a team member actively selling on the market themselves. It's not something that we've ever been prepared to do. So yeah, there is a bit of a battle between competing with currencies that have these wild buy and sell taxes, and then also being able to fund everything ourselves. But yeah, I mean, this is why we're not going out there and spending millions on, you know, YouTube influencers for a single tweet. You know, we're not doing that. We're putting our products first. We're in it for the long haul. We don't see the need to go all out, you know, spending millions on marketing before our products are even out. So yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act there, but I think we're getting it right. And obviously, as we grow, as we get bigger, marketing will come, but it will be proportional to, you know, how the size of the project we are. I mean, we're not going to go out and spend millions and millions of dollars. You know, people post links to what like crypto.com or FTX are doing and how much money they're spending on marketing. Of course they are. They're generating billions of dollars, and it's proportional to where they are at in their journey, and we'll get there.
That is one thing I do want to measure at the end of the year as well. I want to see how much these companies are actually putting towards their products in comparison to StrikeX, because I'm confident StrikeX is probably very much at the top of that list, even in comparison to these the hugest companies that you can think of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
In this first year, obviously, the team has grown quite a bit. So we've seen CTOs get hired. We've seen new admins, mods in the Discord and the Telegram. We've seen a lot of growth in that sense. So like, what has it been like to watch the company grow and watch the staff and everything kind of branch out? Because there's people from all over the world helping out, right?
I mean, it's the great thing about crypto in general. You know, it's there are no boundaries, no geographical boundaries. It's 24/7 market, and we're a 24/7 business, and we've got to we've got people all around the world. It's been great, you know, we've to see the business grow and kind of grow and develop from what was essentially like a Discord based business when founding compared to where we're at now is a gulf of difference. I mean, yes, we've had a few kind of publicly announced roles, in particular Rob, our CTO, Jason, our CSO, but that's just public facing roles. When we were growing in terms of HR, accounts, everything we need to have in place to be a proper legitimate business, and those things, you know, it's done out of necessity. We're not kind of hiring people for the publicity stunt, you know. We're not kind of announcing every single time we're not announcing every single time we hire someone. We do it out of necessity, and it's great to see us growing. But you know, we've got a long way to go, and there'll be a lot more. The team will grow a lot more this year for sure.
It feels like with every hire, we're kind of like tagging another wrestler into the ring.
Well, this is why a lot of them aren't public facing roles, because a lot of people coming from, you know, they're coming from more traditional backgrounds in finance, and I do think there is a bit of an apprehension to take apprehension. Is that a word? Apprehension?
Yes,
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apprehension to, you know, dive into the crypto space because of everything that comes with it. So yeah, there was a few people that don't need public facing roles. That's what I said. That's why the team's growing.
All right. So moving on to the next one, you know, you kind of touched on it earlier about like what has separated Strike from other projects. Like we talked earlier, we've seen a ton of projects come and go in this space, but Strike has stayed, and it's only gotten stronger, it seems. A lot of projects have totally disappeared. I'd say the huge percentage, maybe 90% of projects that were once here are gone in the BSC space, especially. But Strike continues to be here and get stronger. So I don't know if you have any comments on that, but you guys have done it right.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not the only people to be doing this, but essentially the difference is that we have utility, we have a roadmap, a product, and a reason for being. Sure, you get coins that launch to huge fanfare, pump to $1 billion market cap, and then collapse. It's really hard to come back from that. You know, even ourselves as a utility token, if we had pumped day one to $1 billion market cap and collapsed, you know, it's really hard to come back from that. So I think it was all about a balance. It's all about the balance of generating the hybrid interest on socials, getting people in early, getting people invested in your idea, your vision, but then also about kind of limiting those expectations to, it's a long journey. It's not overnight, because, the last thing we want is a huge pump on the token. And I think that's something that really does happen too often, is where you get these huge pumps and then projects can't recover from it. But yeah, having utility helps, and having a roadmap of products, tangible products that will be released, it massively helps.
And I think also, we have kept our heads down, and we're working as hard as we can with complete sincerity and conviction. And I think that is on some level being felt, because that's what connects people on an emotional level. And I do see that continuing to grow, especially with the months ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of projects on BSC, it's all talk and no actual doing. So I know the work you guys do in the background, and it's phenomenal. So let's talk about the migration. That was a pretty stressful time. We migrated from Strike coin to StrikeX. What was the process like for you guys? Because I know for us admins, it was a little stressful. We were nervous for you guys even. So what was that process like? Because I know it was a crazy night.
Yeah, I think a migration, purely because of the kind of stigma that comes with them, because they're so often a complete failure when we've seen them done in the past. So luckily we had a lot of examples to look and see where other projects that had migrated had gone wrong. I think the whole just airdrop was the best way to do it, airdropping tokens automatically. But of course, yeah, it was stressful to say this, but it had to be done, and I was happy with the outcome at the end of the day. It went okay.
No, nobody sees what we go through on the other side of the fence. It's very much Coffee's profuse sweating and non-stop cigarette breaks, especially with these big public events. But the reason is that we know what it means for the people. There's a lot of trust in us, and we can't let that waver. Everyone is counting on us, and we went that extra step in ensuring that people would be safe in that transition. And I think it went as well as it possibly could have.
Is the only negative I found that came from the migration was the huge candle at the beginning when people were adding liquidity.
Yeah.
Before. Oh man, that was stressful. Trying to pick the right time because obviously we had said we're launching at this price, and then you see the price going up and down, and I'm there trying to add like $1 million liquidity. It's like, right, do it at this moment before. Yeah, it was cool that we got there in the end.
Yeah, it's really annoying being for the people, but then some people aren't really for the people. So
yeah, that's what I meant.
It's the internet at the end of the day. People are going to do that, I guess. And even since our migration, I've seen other projects migrate and have the same issue. Mm-hmm. And I feel for them. It's not an easy process. We've done it. No. And should the need come to do it again, particularly when we're developing our own blockchain, we're prepared, because at least we've got that bit of experience.
Yeah. Yep. No. Big time. No, that's what I meant about the stressful bit. Was it the people adding those little bits of liquidity and then it jumping up and you having to fix it again? That was crazy. And I've seen projects do that whole migration stuff, and sometimes it just really doesn't go well. And so I'd say that it was a massive success for StrikeX. So Kish, I wanted to ask you a question because, first of all, I want to say your graphics are phenomenal. That's one of the things that really attracted me to the project, because I love visual stuff. I love that eye candy kind of stuff. Do you find yourself to be a little bit of a perfectionist, or how's that process work with your art stuff, your graphics?
I guess some people would say they am, but to me it's just putting in effort. If you're not happy with something, you're not happy with something. Yeah. But for me, the goal has always been user experience and functionality. That's the only thing that I focus on, and I think that's part of what's going to make this project a standout. We're competing with companies with millions that dedicate just a percentage of that to the product, versus us that are dedicating pretty much everything we have. Looking forward to seeing how that will be once we're in that similar position. But in terms of, being happy with the graphics, just everything is a working process. I compare up any roadmap to Apple, for example. They didn't get to iPhone 13. They built everything in between that. And I use that same take on everything that I do. And any bit of graphic, just push it out and we can update it at another point. If you keep working at something, you're never going to release it.
staying on the subject of graphic creation, Joe, I'd like to hear a little bit about the original Strike logo that you yourself designed with the lightning bolt and everything, because that was a masterpiece in itself. And Kish, I'd also like to hear what you probably have some thoughts and feelings about it too.
Yeah, the biggest take from that is I just don't know why Kish didn't stop me. It's not like he wasn't working for us. Like, I don't know why he let me put it out. I was just like, well, we need a logo, you know? I was like, we need a logo. We were just opening Twitter. This was obviously before the coin launch. This was, because I know a lot of people would know that the project was founded before, kind of a month before the token was actually launched. So we're just trying to build... lay the foundations for Twitter, and I laid it with an absolutely shocking logo made on PowerPoint.
I think it was very impulsive, but very like passion driven moment. Yeah. Because, you know, at that point we were getting really, really frustrated with the options we had. So, you know, as much as we laugh at that logo, like it symbolizes a very special moment in time where we decided, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's going on the wall as soon as we have our a bigger office.
Yeah, you need to keep that. That's a good one. It's the same thing. I mean, you have to start somewhere, right?
I kind of wish we could just bury that and forget about it, but it's going to come back, isn't it?
Well, no, it'll be a nice comparison once we're at the top of the pyramid.
That's the start of it, right?
When I'm still using PowerPoint, so it's not progress.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so next one here. So as far as like social platforms, Discord and Telegram are kind of the two main that are used to get in contact with the community. Obviously there's Instagram, Twitter, those kind of social media platforms, but Discord and Telegram is where you guys can actually communicate with the community and they can ask you questions and everything. And we've seen some very interesting characters come into the Discord and Telegram over the last year. Everything from getting emotional and selling out and people causing drama and everything. So what has been the funniest or most ridiculous moment in the Discord and Telegram for you?
I mean, just kind of to start with, I mean, the social side of our project is paramount. The Binance Smart Chain Network would not be where it is today if it wasn't for, you know, platforms or sites such as Telegram, Discord, because, you know, it plugs you into your investors and it plugs you into like-minded people that have an interest in blockchain technology. So yeah, big shout out to everybody that kind of is there on the Discord, Telegram, and it's great to be able to talk to them directly. But yeah, I mean, there has been some funny moments. I think one that does stick out is in people that come in and have said that they could build what we're building in a weekend. That's when the voice sticks out. And then someone's just like, really? What? Yeah, so I don't think he stayed around long. But yeah. I mean,
well, we tried to, the thing is, a lot of people, we tried to actually talk to them, like have an actual conversation. He was not interested in having a conversation and discussing it. He was basically just trying to FUD essentially. So he got kicked, but otherwise I think we're overly tolerant.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day though, it's essentially it's an internet chat room. You're going to get characters, and I think it's great. I think for the best part, I think the social side of things is so important, and I think with retail investing in general, it's got a huge part to play in the future, and it will have a huge part to play in the future of our products. So yeah, we love it.
We're really lucky to have the community. You know, we wouldn't be here without them, and even more so, we're really lucky to have the mods, the head mods, the rest of the team. Again, we would not be here without them, and you know, their efforts are much appreciated.
All right, so this project has hit some really incredible milestones, you know, everything from partnerships to hitting new all-time highs to new record holder counts. What has been the biggest milestone for both of you, Joe and Kish? What would have been the one that has really stood out or been really important to each of you?
The easy one for me is I know it's something that we shouldn't focus too much on, like I said previously, the price. But obviously, like I said, it's important to investors for sure to see that their belief and strength in holding the project is paying off. But it was when we broke that 1.8 cents barrier, because there was a lot of people from when we launched bought in at the previous top. Some of them, I know my own family, for example, I know put some money in at 1.8 cents, and a lot of others did as well. And yeah, a lot of them held for 3 to 4 months at 90% loss, but because they believed in the project, they held. And then, yeah, I mean, now they're like 1,000% up. And I think that was a big moment for me, purely just because it felt like
redemption.
Yeah, well, it felt that the belief in us and trust they placed in us paid off for them. So I liked that. And it's, I know, like I said, the price isn't directly important to the project right now, but I understand it is to the people that put trust in us. So it was nice. It was a nice feeling that.
Totally. Kish, what about yourself?
I think that is the exact same thing for me. Yeah, 100%. That is the same thing for me.
Yeah, and that's going to kind of lead into our next question. As far as, I would say, some of our investors kind of go in the Discord and they feel like they're down or they're down 50%. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you believe in the project long term, you don't lose unless you sell. And I think that the BSC network has kind of taught impatience to investors, just because there's been projects that have done 200x plus and everything like that in such a short period of time, and they get an unrealistic view of trading and investing. So what do you think about that, the impatience of some of the people, or what they've learned, I guess, in the BSC space?
I think it would be a disservice to kind of say that's, an overall picture of crypto investors. So I think it's a minority, very small minority have come to expect that. But I mean, and a lot of the time it's people that are new to crypto. They get into crypto because they hear one of their friends or a friend had put a tenner into something and became a millionaire a week later. So when they jump into it, they expect the same. But I mean, it's the same with anything you do. It comes with that level of experience. If you go chasing those 1,000 times runners, you very often you're going to get burnt, and it's just part of the learning curve of crypto investing that it doesn't happen to every project, and you can lose money that way. So I think for sure, to your question, I think some of the projects that have blown up, yes, it has caused a sense of impatience. I don't know if impatience would be the right word. Maybe just kind of fogged expectations. People expect huge runs in every project overnight, but then it doesn't. I think a lot of the majority of our investors are here for the long haul. They're here for the product, the roadmap. So they will judge us on our products, and they will judge us in the long term. But yeah, like anybody, you're going to get moon boys, people that want 10x in a day. Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's happened to us before. It's just a long journey, and you're going to get people that kind of fall by the wayside along that journey, down to wanting, a quicker return. That's personal preference of how they want to trade.
And also, with the way that the tokenomics and the structure of the token is set up, that there is going to be volatility. We're a microcap. That's just how it is. What I can say is that with everything that we've seen so far, I'm looking forward to being able to take those lessons and implement them onto the platform, and we can turn that into a process whereby people will be able to learn from those mistakes. Like simple things like some of the community didn't know how to dollar cost average, for example. These are all things that we can focus on heavily with the platform.
That's definitely really important. And I think I've definitely seen a few people come into the Discord who were, I guess, newer to crypto, or they had some of those expectations. And I think they got converted totally when they saw the use case is what you guys are building and everything. And they went from, when is the price going to go up, to just being happy to be here and being great additions to the community. So I think it's all about, learning more, getting used to it. And I definitely have a few friends who've gotten into crypto very recently, and that expectations was high, and now it's dropped a little bit to be more realistic.
I mean, I think it's also, the crypto space is like that. In comparison, but we come from trading stocks in previous Discord.
Yeah.
And it's a bit mad how people can be happy holding an OTC stock 90% down, but ready to call anything in crypto a scam, even if it's just 10% down. And I hope we can be one of those projects that kind of changes that perception, because there is so much cool technology in this space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's the technology, isn't it? I mean, this is why we're getting people from more, like I said, more traditional technology or financial companies joining us, because they're interested in the technology. I mean, you know, Rob, for example, our CTO, worked in the industry worked in the technology industry for, you know, a long time. You know, if he wasn't interested in the technology and the innovative technology that blockchain's offering now, you know, people like that, of that ilk, wouldn't be joining. They wouldn't be, you know, taking that step into blockchain technology companies. So yeah, it's all about the technology, and I think the vast majority of our investors see that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's great. The tech is incredible in this space, and that's what's really drawn me to it. So that's great. It's great to hear. Kind of on that same subject about, you know, BSC and everything. Like we talked about earlier, it's kind of like the Wild West. You know, crazy things have happened in this DeFi space. We've seen pump and dumps, we've seen rugs, we've seen shady things go on, influencers, etc. But, you know, StrikeX has really kind of stayed away from that whole paying a ton of influencers and just, like you said, pumping millions of dollars into marketing just to get a higher price, and then just that big fall back down. And you've really put the products first, that approach, and I think it's been very successful. So, like, what kind of made you go that route?
To be honest, I mean, I think it's just the project's roadmap, and it's the necessity to, if we've got money, we've got funds, of course they're going to go into our products, because, you know, if we just spend every cent we get on marketing, the products are never going to get made. So that has to take the first, has to take priority. Money we get goes into development. Don't get me wrong, we have paid influencers good money to tweet about us, especially more so in the early days, because this was my first Binance Smart Chain project. You know, so you're kind of looking around to see, okay, what are other projects doing, and to get that engagement, to get that social engagement, to get those followers. So yeah, we tried out the influencer thing. I mean, and a lot of it is, you know, it's like I said, it is the Wild West out there, but you just got to navigate it carefully. You've got to see what works for you and what works and what doesn't work. I mean, what works for one project won't necessarily work for us, depending on, you know, what kind of project it is. So yeah, I think we've become more cautious how we market, to kind of make sure we keep ourselves away from the negative connotations from the Binance Smart Chain. But just to my overall opinion on the Binance Smart Chain is, yes, so you're going to get, it is considered the Wild West of crypto trading sometimes, but that's only because it attracts so many people, and it's attracting so many people because of the low gas fees. You know, it's easy to navigate, it's easy to use, and I don't think that should be taken. So there's a lot of positives about that. There's a lot of positives that come with that. This is why we launched on it. But yeah, it does obviously bring the negatives, because it can be, you know, filled with scams and rug pulls, like you said. But I think, like Kish mentioned, we just kind of keep on our head down and just getting on with our roadmap, because we believe it's the products that will talk for themselves. And that's what we've just got to focus on, is pushing out innovative, useful products that people want to use. And, you know, we've got the wallet coming out real soon. When the wallet comes out, it's the first chance I think a lot of people will actually be able to get a product in their hands, on their phone, downloaded from the App Store and use. And it will give people a bit of a sense of what we are aiming for in terms of our other products. Kish mentioned, a huge part of his design work is it's all about the user experience, and I feel that the wallet will kind of get people to see just what level of user experience they can expect from StrikeX products. And yeah, I'm really excited for that kind of journey to start, because up till now it's been it's a speculative investment buying StrikeX, because we've not put out any real products for people to use. So once our wallet's out, I think it's going to be a whole different kind of thing. And I think all the decision to focus on the products rather than spending thousands and thousands of marketing will show when the wallet comes out.
For sure.
And hopefully, I think people will be happy. I'm sure people will be happy with the decisions we've made when they see the quality of the products we put out.
Well, this is part of that conversation, right? Like we have crypto being in this crypto space has been like a real business on hard mode. We have actual employees to pay, processes to follow, workflows to build. I assure you, putting 30K towards renting a billboard or 50K towards playing an influencer, like these are conversations that if you speak to VCs or investors, they're not going to be pleased to hear about that sort of thing. I do think we're making the best decisions for the business going forward.
For sure. And yeah, the BSC space has definitely changed since, a year ago from today. So it's definitely always evolving, but those gas fees are definitely one of the highlights compared to some other networks that are very, very high, right? So staying on the subject of products, we're going to talk a bit about what the last part of 2022 is going to be looking like, as it's going to be a bit of a wild ride, right? 3 major products being released. So why did you choose those 3? And when did development start for each one of those?
So obviously we planned and scoped TradeStrike, the 24/7 tokenized stock trading platform. It's always been our flagship product and the original product. And that began development last summer. We didn't announce that because we felt we had a lot of other kind of things to be doing in the meantime, rather than just saying, right, well, we've got this product starting development, now wait a year or whatever till it's launched. So we got development underway with the main product, the main platform. And then it was really in conversation with development teams, other projects, we realized just how underserved the market is in general. A lot of frustration coming from our investors of how do I buy this token? Why do I have to wait like a week before my BNB turns up? Why do I have to go through all this process? Why do I have to exchange to one exchange to another? A lot of barriers were kind of set up for investors to even invest in our currency. So we thought the best thing to do, rather than just concentrating on listings, which is a lot of projects just go, right, or to make it easier for our investors to buy, we'll just list on as many exchanges as possible. I felt that would have been counterproductive, considering the low volume we were getting in the early days. So we would have just been thinning ourselves out too much. We thought the best thing to do would be to develop our own products to help people buy. And that's really where the DEX came. The first version of the DEX was just a place where users could stake, because that came out of a conversation we were having with other platforms who gave us a quote to say, oh, if you pay us this much money, users can stake Strike coins or StrikeX tokens on our platform. And we were looking at that quote and thought, you know what, we've got the development teams, we've got everything we need, let's just do it ourselves and provide that as a service for our investors. And likewise with the wallet, kind of removing those barriers to invest, making things easy. Because I mean, really, you're kind of looking at the competition. You were looking at the Trust Wallets, the MetaMasks, who are, millions and millions of daily of users, and thinking, we can do that, and we believe we can do that better. And we feel that it was a way to help people grow into our project, to then kind of get that interest and then set that barrier of expectations for the main trading platform. So by the time the main trading platform's out, we should have a lot of people using our wallet, and we should have people expecting good products because they've been using the wallet and they'll know what to expect from the main trading platform. So I feel like it just made sense. It made sense to grow our ecosystem and build up to that main event, which is the TradeStrike platform.
Yeah. Well, I think I can speak for the whole community here that we cannot wait to get our hands on the wallet and get that downloaded on our phones, because some of the other options just really aren't cutting it. So looking forward to that one. All right. So 12 months have passed since the start of the project. What do you see in the next 12 months? And what are some milestones that we could be talking about in the 2nd year anniversary video?
Yeah,
domination.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean, I think, we will be, post TradeStrike launch, So we should really be talking about, TradeStrike user numbers, and the blockchain, the stock token bridge, and other products, and other kind of journeys and partnerships that we've yet to announce, and ones we've been working on. They should all be announced. We've got such a huge 12 months ahead of us. We've kind of seen the last 12 months have just been kind of laying the foundations and preparing ourselves for what's about to come, and making sure we're in the best possible position to take advantage of the next 12 months, and really, push home to investors that the last 12 months, have just been a warm-up act to kind of get ourselves ready. The next 12 months are going to be, wild. Knowing what I know, the next few months should be extremely interesting for everybody involved in StrikeX, from employees to investors. It's going to be great.
Awesome. It's incredibly exciting stuff. And then now that we're near the end here, do you guys have any final thoughts? Any extra things you want to mention?
Really, just a thank you to our investors. Thank you to our community, our investors. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for your patience, your belief in the project. I personally love engaging with the community via Discord. So any investors watching this, that aren't in our Discord and kind of only follow us loosely on Twitter, or jump in the Discord. If you've got any burning questions, jump in the Discord at me. I'll respond. Might not be straight away, but I will get around to everybody that's got questions. Just a big thank you to everybody involved in supporting us and rooting for us, and it's going to be a great 12 months ahead. So appreciate you for sticking with us.
We're still here. We're still us. We're still the people risking everything to deliver something that we believe in. We're in the strongest position we've ever been. We'll put our products, we'll build on them, we'll make them the best, we'll climb that ladder. Everyone will be using them at some point.
Awesome. Incredible stuff, guys. We are all incredibly excited for what's to come. Thank you both for joining me today in this video about the 1-year anniversary, and keep being awesome. And we're going to see you in the next one, hopefully.
Cool. Thanks very much for your time, Zayden. Appreciate you doing this.
Yeah,
I'll get to bed.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take care. Cheers, guys.